So we don't normally cover like pop culture stuff, but we saw Tom Dark and a bunch of other commentary channels cover the Lizzo lawsuit, which featured some very interesting claims. And as soon as we read the article, we were like, actually, we have to cover this. I mean, there's crazy accusations here. Although I'm not gonna lie, it seems like a lot of the complaining here in this lawsuit doesn't really hold up. Actually,
honestly, it looks like a lot of BS. You know,
a lot of entitlement,
a lot of BS. You know, we like kind of did some research and saw some people were like saying this is the worst person in the world and she's just absolutely terrible. A lot of stuff we read, it was like, I mean.
Yeah, and Lizzo, if you guys don't know, she's like the very, like, you know, infamous, like, overweight, like, pop star, but she's actually really popular. I didn't realize, like, how popular she even was.
Yeah.
She's often the topic of a lot of conservative commentators as well because of her promoting, like, you know, being fat or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But again, this lawsuit is very interesting. Apparently, Lizzo was fat shaming her employees.
Apparently, allegedly, according to them.
If you can even believe that.
Yeah.
So let's begin with the fat shaming here. The suit accuses Lizzo of calling attention to the dancer's weight after an appearance at South by Southwest Music Festival. The singer and her choreographer later told the dancer, Ariana Davis, that she seemed less committed to her role, a comment the suit described as a thinly veiled concern about Davis's weight. What? So how is that related to her weight?
This is the fat shaming allegation. We like scoured this article for more comments about the fat shaming or whatever. I didn't see anything else. We read this whole thing. So this is the only comment that this article goes into about how she fat shamed her employees because she said one of them was less committed to her role. I'm sorry, maybe she was. Maybe she wasn't performing that well. I don't know what that has to do with her weight. She just decided to take that and make it about that she's fat.
Yeah, I'm not really following with this one. Let's keep going. Davis and another former dancer, Crystal Williams, began performing with Lizzo after competing on her Amazon reality show, Watch Out for the Big Girls, in 2021, according to the suit. The dancers were later fired. Now, let's just...
So they competed in a show called Watch Out for the Big Girls. I don't even know what that is, but I'm assuming based on the name, everyone there was a big fat woman.
Yeah.
And they were all trying to compete for Liz's approval. And I guess they won.
So you're worried about being, you're worried about people insulting your weight, including Lizzo, but the whole reason why you work for her in the first place is because you won a competition with a bunch of other fat women?
Yeah.
How does that make any sense?
I'm just confused. And like I said, I don't see this as fat shaming because you interpreted her criticizing your performance. You just decided to run with that as it being about your body. I don't.
Yeah.
What is the point here?
That doesn't really follow up at all. The third, Noah Rodriguez, was hired the same year after performing in the video Rumors, the suit says. Rodriguez resigned earlier this year. Now we get to the Amsterdam club accusations, all right? So this is where we start to veer into the sexual harassment claims of the case.
Yeah.
The trip to the Amsterdam strip club, Banana Bar,
that sounds horrible.
It does. Happened after a performance in the city earlier this year. The suit states that Lizzo's after-parties were routine and non-mandatory, but alleges that those who attended were favored by the singer who had greater job security.
I'm sorry. So, okay, just keep that in mind that it's non-mandatory and this is routine.
Right.
Read this. It's not required. This isn't part of something you had to show up to work for her.
At the club, Lizzo began inviting cast members to take turns touching the nude performers, catching dildos launched from the performers' vaginas, and eating bananas protruding from the performers' vaginas, the suit says. Lizzo then turned her attention to Ms. Davis and began pressuring Ms. Davis to touch the breasts of one of the nude women.
This is obviously insane, but I want to make a comment while we're in the middle of reading this. This is something that she's openly talked about before, and this is something that I'm not surprised reading. Like seeing Lizzo, the little bit I've seen her, I'm not really surprised that she went to a club where there's sexual shit going on. I mean, this is, first of all, it's not mandatory. And second, she's like this.
Well, she's like openly sexual. She's openly a degenerate or whatever, as most celebrities are, especially, people that make music, right? So if you're going to work for her, but then now obviously this shit's all degenerate to me or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's why I would never work for Lizzo.
No, I would never work. I've stayed far away from her completely.
Yeah, if I was concerned about seeing degeneracy of this nature or whatever, especially when she's literally openly talked about this exact fucking bar 4 years ago.
No, play this clip. I want to hear this. Yeah.
But I'm trying to go to the show where you eat the banana out the pussy. Which one is that?
This is a banana bar.
Well, that's the banana bar?
Yeah,
and they have the banana in the coochie?
And ping pong balls.
And you have to go...
Yes.
And that's what I want to do.
I mean, it's totally disgusting. But she's open. It's not like you were surprised. It's not like you were, auditioning to work at a church, and then all of a sudden they were doing this.
I would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, I mean, like I said, this is not surprising to me. And the thing is, too, she decided to say, like, look, it gains you favor. It makes you have more job security. That's just how it is in these industries. If you are friends with your boss, they like you more.
Yeah, any industry, even non-entertainment jobs or whatever, right? It's like if you're friendly with the boss, no shit, you're probably in a better position in your job at all, right?
Yeah. Now, does that suck? Obviously. But at the same time, it's like, well, this is just how the world works. I mean, you can't, I've worked jobs plenty of times, and when I'm friends or not friends with the boss, they treat me with more favor or less favor. I mean, that's just how people are. It's human nature. Yeah, you can argue that it sucks, but I don't see this as lawsuit worthy because I didn't go hang out with her at the clubs and she didn't treat me as nicely as the people who did hang out with her. I'm just not really that surprised.
When Davis eventually acquiesced and briefly touched the performer of the group, burst into laughter, the suit says. Afterwards, Lizzo allegedly pressured a member of her security staff to get on stage and began yelling, "Take it off," according to the suit. The plaintiffs were aghast with how little regard Lizzo showed for the bodily autonomy of her employees and those around her, especially in the presence of many people whom she employed, the suit says.
Yeah, like, do I find this good? No, I don't like this at all.
No.
I mean, this is horrible. This is degenerate. But I'm just, like I said, I'm not surprised. I didn't read this article shocked.
Well, it's like they're acting like this is like a group of like fucking construction workers or like a job where seeing stuff like this would be surprising or unusual, right? Like if you worked at a restaurant and all of a sudden the entire waitstaff was like, "Yo, new party tonight at the strip club, and we're all gonna be naked and group fucking each other," I'd be like, "Holy shit, that's crazy." Yeah. But you're in the entertainment industry in a fucking degenerate musical group, right? With Lizzo. Yeah. Who's openly sexual in her music, who's openly, I mean, do you guys remember the fucking nude photo shoot that was all over the news that a year ago?
I think it's her album cover. I think that's her album cover, literally.
Yeah,
it's
where
her,
she's like sitting
naked.
down and it's just her giant, fat, naked body.
Yeah, I'm like I said, is it bad? Yes. I'm just not surprised, though. This is the thing.
That's just why I wouldn't be involved in an industry where I know stuff like this is happening, right? Because I don't want to see any of this. I don't want to be around this cancer.
Here's the next part. This part follows up our point exactly. A week later, after a show in Paris, Lizzo invited her dancers to a club so they would be able to learn something or be inspired by the performance. What Lizzo failed to mention is that inviting the dancers to this performance was that it was a nude cabaret bar. So she was inviting her dancers around to see like different performances, different art, and it was a nude performance.
Right.
I'm not really shocked by this. To be honest, like the suit describes the performance as artful, but the plaintiffs were shocked that Lizzo would conceal the nature of the event of them robbing them of their choice not to participate. When you are in this industry, nudity is also extremely fucking common and popular.
Yeah.
Maybe she should have mentioned that, but honestly, anywhere I go with this person, I'm going to expect that there might be nudity involved.
Right.
Because that's just kind of how even in an artful nature, not even just in a sexual degeneracy nature, even just in an art form nature, this happens all the time. This is just part of this industry and part of this environment. If you're not used to nudity, you need to find somewhere else that you can be in. You shouldn't be performing with Lizzo.
It just seems like one of these situations where it's like, how did I end up here, right?
Yeah.
If I have these values and I'm working in this job that I literally competed to be a part of, then what the fuck do you expect? Although I will say, to be fair though, she should have probably mentioned like the nature of what they were going to see, assuming that this allegation is true, and given them the option to back out, especially if she gave them that option before with the fucking banana bar, right? So she probably should have done that. But that's like the first claim I've seen so far where it's like, okay, I can see where you're coming from. Yeah. But in general, I mean, especially when we get to the harassment claim and stuff here, it just doesn't really make that much sense what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, well, one last comment too. It does say it implies that she invited her dancers to the club so they'd be able to learn something. Maybe it was mandatory. If that's mandatory, then yeah, that is a little bit different. My interpretation is that it's non-mandatory, just like the other stuff. So,
right.
I mean, if it's not mandatory, once again, yeah, I mean, what do you expect? If it's mandatory, then I can agree that maybe you should communicate that. It just sounds like a miscommunication, though, because she's probably so used to seeing so much nudity in her work that she just doesn't even think about, hey, like, artful nudity is something that might be shocking to people.
Yeah, exactly. The racial harassment claim is linked to what the suit describes as comments charged with racial and fat-phobic animus. Again, imagine Lizzo being fat-phobic against you. That would just be like, what is happening?
Yeah.
In one instance, the former dancers asked to be compensated for their downtime at a rate 50% of their weekly pay, according to the suit. An accountant allegedly responded to the request by offering 25% and scolding them for being unacceptable and disrespectful. So they got paid half of what they asked for when they weren't even working. Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Is that the worst thing in the world?
It's probably irritating and probably annoying, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's like the worst allegation so far.
Only the dance cast compromised of full-figured women of color were ever spoken to in this manner, the suit states.
Okay, so I guess they were being disrespectful just because they're black? I don't know. I mean, if
Again,
Lizzo's your boss...
black. Like, how is this, like, racism and fat phobia from Lizzo's music group just seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I just don't really buy it. Especially, honestly, a lot of the stuff that I'm saying in this video also comes with that very initial allegation of being that you are like underperforming, somehow twisting that into being a fat phobic comment. A lot of the things that they're saying here and alleging, I just don't really buy.
Right.
It just seems ridiculous. It seems like you're making it up because based on that first comment, that was nothing about your weight. She didn't call you a fat bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is like, they only talk to us like that because we are full-figured big black women. It's like, I don't think that's true. I don't really buy that. I don't buy that.
Seems like this is a lot in the mind, you know what I mean? Like their perceptions or whatever is like, oh, I'm getting called out. She must be insulting my weight. Oh, they're mad at me or whatever. It must be because I'm black. It's like, well, is that really what's happening?
Are they assholes? Maybe, but is it because of the reason
they might be assholes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a racial component to it, right? And again, especially from Lizzo's like group, like she's literally like, what is she, like one of the most famous like black women singers right now?
Yeah. Probably of all time. She's up there with like Oprah and all that stuff. And popularity.
It just seems a little bit ridiculous. Now we get into the religious harassment allegation, which is connected to Quigley, the dance captain, who also worked as a judge on Lizzo's reality show. According to the suit, she preached her Christian beliefs and took every opportunity to proselytize to any and all in her presence, regardless of protestations. Now we're getting to like fucking clown world here because like all of a sudden you have like Lizzo's dance captain who's constantly preaching Christian beliefs while they're also going to the banana bar and doing all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so the initial claim of like harassment or whatever, it's like, so you have a judge there that's constantly talking about being Christian, trying to like convert you or whatever, right? Like, is that claim like, I mean, to me, the most ridiculous part of that is that you have somebody who's like that also working with Lizzo.
Yeah, because I would not work with Lizzo. As someone who's like, you know, more of a on that side, I just like, why would I involve myself in that?
Yeah, exactly. Like, why would I work in this degenerate like music group, but then try to convert everyone to be Christian? But then from the, you know, the people that are suing them, why would I be mad at all of the degeneracy, but then also be mad at the Christian judge who's preaching to me?
It's like, what is your belief here?
What is happening here? There's like three different like parties here that are all fighting with each other.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
After discovering that Davis was a virgin, Quigley discussed the subject in interviews and posted about it on social media, the suit says, and when cast members asked her to stop pressuring Rodriguez, whom Quigley regarded as a non-believer, according to the suit, about her faith, Quigley responded, "No job and no one will stop me from talking about the Lord."
So she's just a hardcore Christian.
Is that the worst environment to be around? Especially the other environments you were around already?
Yeah, and I mean, look, I'll say her like randomly telling everyone that she's a virgin is probably lame. Yeah,
that is pretty bad.
That's pretty that's pretty dumb.
2 dancers were fired in April and May. According to the suit, Williams lost her job April 26, days after she spoke up at a meeting in which she challenged an assertion from Lizzo that the dancers were drinking before performances. The day before, Lizzo told the group that they would have to audition again, a move that prompted what the suit described as an excruciating 12-hour rehearsal. If Lizzo was dissatisfied with their performances, the suit alleges, the dancers would be fired and sent home. Okay.
So if you were a bad dancer and Lizzo thought you sucked, then you would lose your job.
Sounds normal to me. If Lizzo was, let's see, during the rehearsal, Davis was so fearful she'd lose her job if she went to the bathroom, she soiled her pants. She was given a see-through outfit with no undergarments to finish the performance, the suit says. When Lizzo raised the issue again the following day, Williams responded, saying the dancers didn't drink, the suit says. The singer then allegedly offered what the suit described as a mocking reply. Well, if you're not, then good for y'all. 5 days later, on April 26, Lizzo's tour manager fired Williams in a hotel lobby, the suit says. The manager attributed the termination to budget cuts, said the suit, which noted that no one else was fired. Rodriguez complained to the manager about the decision to publicly fire Williams, a move that Lizzo repeatedly raised with the dancers during the April 27th meeting, during which she told the group that she had eyes and ears everywhere, according to the suit.
Yeah, I mean, Lizzo's the boss, so I expect her to have eyes and ears everywhere.
Davis recorded the April 27th meeting because she suffered from an eye condition that sometimes left her disoriented in stressful situations, the suit says. Days later, Lizzo held an emergency meeting and had security employees confiscate the dancers' phones. Lizzo became furious, hurling expletives at the group and stated that she was going to go around the room person by person until someone told Lizzo who made the recording.
Wow.
So now Lizzo is upset that somebody recorded a secret meeting, and so she's gonna figure out who did it. I mean, again, this sounds look. We are Lizzo's strongest soldiers.
Yeah, we are.
All right. She's right.
We are gun guarding for Lizzo. Actually,
yeah, we are gun guarding for Lizzo. What is the complaint here, though? You're recording secret meetings now. If you had to record the fucking meeting, shouldn't you like at least state that you're doing so or ask permission, right?
Yeah. So she said, I sometimes had an eye condition left me disoriented in stressful situations. So you decided to secretly record the meeting behind her back, and then you're surprised that she was like, "Who did this? Who did this?"
Which, by the way, that sounds like a lie. But
Yeah.
even if that's true, it's like, okay, well, just communicate. Say, I need to record this meeting or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or I want to.
Or like maybe she can record it, or maybe she can take notes or something so you can look back on
take
it.
fucking notes.
Yeah.
Like, but of course, I mean, I don't know. This seems like a fucking bullshit excuse.
Yeah, I just don't really buy it that much. And then she says, Davis acknowledged recording the meeting, saying she wanted to have a copy of it. And then the suit says, but then when Davis said she didn't mean any harm and that she deleted the video, Lizzo allegedly responded, "There's nothing you can say to make me believe you."
Owned.
I mean, yeah, I would be, if I was in Lizzo's suit, I would be pissed too. If I knew one of my employees was secretly recording me without me knowing
What the
in our
fuck?
secret meetings, I don't know what you're going to do with that. I mean, you can ask me. I will say yes, but then I'll know what you're doing with it. I will understand. Otherwise, I don't know your intentions, and this is our private stuff. So
Miss Quigley and Lizzo then took turns berating Miss Davis, the suit says. After castigating Miss Davis, Lizzo fired Miss Davis on the spot. Before Lizzo left the meeting, Rodriguez told her that she felt disrespected and would resign, the suit says. Lizzo responded by cracking her knuckles, balling her fists, and using an expletive to tell Rodriguez that she was lucky, the suit states. Holy shit.
wow, so she started going just
She
full
just was like,
crazy
fuck
mode.
you.
Oh.
As Rodriguez left, the suit says, Lizzo raised both her middle fingers and yelled a slur. What slur?
Fuck you, bitch. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that sounds pretty aggressive.
It does sound aggressive, but I'm just like,
If I had to deal with these fucking lunatics, then maybe I would.
I would be pissed off too. I mean, like,
I feel like we're gonna get so many comments sort of like hating us because right now the internet is fully like just shitting on Lizzo. But reading this article and especially seeing how they perform like in interviews or whatever with their fucking lawyers sitting there
we
right
haven't even
next
watched
to them.
the video. We'll pull up this video where they're talking about this. This is them, by the way, talking about the allegations and describing how they were talked to.
Were these demands or suggestions made by Lizzo, as you say, were they direct, where they said, I really want you to do it? Or was it more, I'm afraid if I don't, I might get fired?
Yeah, I think for both of us, there was like this always looming feeling of thinking that if you didn't do something or you didn't adhere to certain suggestions or demands that your job could be in jeopardy, you know, have fun with her and, you know, go along with like what she was doing and, you know, be down for anything that they were favored. They were hired for more shows. They were invited on, you know, like private jets and to do cool things and, you know, could hang out with her and in like tropical.
So there was just you just felt like she was pressuring you. She never said it because the guy asked very clearly, did she outright say this or was it just like, I feel like this? She said, I just felt like I had to do these things.
Yeah, probably not the smartest thing to admit in your interview in the middle of your fucking lawsuit that, you know, most of your claims are based off of feeling.
Yeah, and then she never outright said anything. And then also the other accusation is what she's saying right now. The people who did do a lot of stuff with her, were really good friends with her, got to do more things with her and she liked them a lot. I mean, I'm not... What do we expect here? This is the workplace environment. Yeah, it sucks. Welcome to adulthood. Every job you work at, every single place you work, this is something you're going to experience. The people who are friends with the boss, people who like the boss treats them nicer. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's bad is like if the boss is like just directly, you know, fucking you over because they don't like you, like specifically like, yeah, you know, I mean,
right. But if you're just getting more favor because you're more friendly with the boss, yeah, you can say sure. That's like kind of it's irritating. Maybe it's like, you know, whatever. But if you're not getting fucked over, if you're not getting directly fired just because you're not going and hanging out with her as a friend, it's just all you're saying is that I'm mad that I couldn't hang out and they fucked me because I didn't hang out with them.
Things like Hawaii and stuff like that. Some of our coworkers, you know, it's just like there was no line between professionalism and personal. And so we had in our minds that if we weren't down for anything, that we would then be ostracized later. It was this unspoken thing in the camp that if you weren't super fun, like if you like skipped out on all of the like outings and all that stuff, that you wouldn't be seen in good favor from Lizzo, and that you would then not be considered like one of the people that is like cool and down for anything, and then therefore not be booked for
you're not one of the people who's cool or down for anything. You just openly said she said if you're not one of the people who's cool and down for everything, you would then be considered one of the people who's not cool and down for everything. I mean, yeah, no shit. I don't understand. No shit, you won't be considered that way. That's just how it goes. I mean, look at like I said, I mean, if you want to argue that that's irritating, okay, sure, but this isn't lawsuit worthy. Did she allege that if she didn't do that, she'd be fired? I didn't hear her say that. Because that's the thing, if you get fired because you're not friends with the boss, that is against the law. But she didn't say, even in that 30-second rant, she didn't say, if I didn't do this, I'd be fired. It was, if I didn't do this, I wouldn't get as much candy and cool stuff.
So yeah, guys, in conclusion, we're Lizzo's strongest soldiers. We are 100% ride or die for Lizzo now. And you know what? I hope she destroys these people in court.
Yeah.